Hello everyone and welcome to a new Let's Play series. Last weekend to be exact, I did a live stream of Masterwork Dwarf Fortress, and I've been playing it on and off over the week, and I'm still having fun with it, so I thought I would start a new game from the beginning and let everyone watch it. So what is Dwarf Fortress? Dwarf Fortress is a sandbox simulator. Like Minecraft, it is sandbox. Unlike Minecraft, it's a simulator. What that means is instead of saying, for instance, a stone block is a generic block that you can place or something like that. What Dwarf Fortress does is, this is marble stone. It has a density like this. It has this melting point. It has this impact resistance, this tensile strength, etc., etc. So while with let me think, how was I going to say this? Okay. Unlike with Minecraft, you can lose Dwarf Fortress. In fact, that's kind of the point of the game, is to build something and then the game tries to kill you over and over with increasing complexity and increasing difficulty. While there are a few ways to survive indefinitely, those ways generally either require you to be very familiar with the game and no small amount of luck, or to wall yourself inside of a mountain and live off mushrooms for years and years, which is not very interesting. So for me, the point of the game is to obviously have fun, but to go out with style. And if I can accomplish a few cool things doing that, that's a bonus. So, more difference between Dwarf Fortress and Minecraft. Let's say let's say there was a dragon, and you wanted to say, I want this dwarf to kill it with a sock. Well, Minecraft would go, what's a sock? Dwarf Fortress would go left or right. And then a sock has mass. If you throw the sock hard enough, you can kill the dragon. You can, though I wouldn't expect you to get more than one try. So here is the download link. If you can read it, if you're at high enough resolution, it is bay12forums.com smf index.php topic equals 125633.0. If I remember, I will put a link in the description and also a fancy annotation. If I don't remember, remind me and then I'll do it. Then you come here, whichever version of computer you have, click download. That takes you to this page, and you click download here. That'll give you a zip file which you'll extract and get this folder. The downside to Dwarf Fortress in general is that it is not at all user friendly and has a fairly steep learning curve. Masterwork and a couple other packs come with a number of user-made tools that will help you get into the game without it being incomprehensible. So for this episode, I'm going to focus mostly on going over those various tools, how to get them set up, how to get the game properly set up, and how to run it. Let's get rid of that. Okay. So to start with, just click on the settings thing. Now then, you're going to want to go to links, or actually, click here to open the manual, which is here. If you want to read a good text-based Let's Play, this one is very awesome, very popular. That's just a side note. Let's see. Okay, open Dwarf Fortress manual. You'll also want to open your Dwarf Fortress folder, copy it, and close that. Then click Play Dwarf Fortress. And as soon as that finishes, close it right back. You just need to You just need to run the game to generate a game log file, as it's not going to be there when you first download it. Now then, we're going to start setting up some utilities. So Soundsense adds sound effects to the game. It has some very basic sound, but not really anything that you would expect, I should say. So Soundsense, as soon as you run that, it's going to ask for your game log text. So paste your directory, and then you'll find game log text right here. Open that. Now then, you're going to go click on the Pack Updates tab and click on Start Automatic Update. I'm going to turn this down quite a lot. And this will add sound effects to the game based on the game, what happens in the game log. So if an event happens, it writes it to the game log, this reads that log, plays the correct sound. Very simple. Now then, we want to go open the utilities folder because we're going to customize Soundsense. So go to the Soundsense folder. Just a side note, there has been an update to Soundsense since the version 3C was released. So you can go Soundsense and download link, Soundsense release version 42. Also, as you saw there, the sound file is actually quite big, 260 something megabytes, gigabytes, megabytes. And all of these are copyright free music and sound effects and all that. So you don't need to worry about that part, if you ever do. Now then, where were we? Right, we were customizing Soundsense. So we go there after the pack is downloaded, so maybe we should wait till that finishes. Let's actually talk about this. We have a number of options here. Actually, we're not ready for that. First, we want to do this. Large address aware. Dwarf Fortress was first created quite some time ago, so it uses a fairly outdated architecture. That means that it can't access as much memory as your computer most probably has. So you just use this, select an executable. Again, we will paste in our Dwarf Fortress thing. Click the Dwarf Fortress exe. Check this box to make sure it does access more than 2 gigabytes. Click save, and that is it. Very simple. We'll turn sound off here. Windowed mode, where do you want on windowed or not? Digging stop, you want to turn this off. What happens is when your dwarf is digging and there's water or lava 1 block away from the next, or the stone that they're, the next stone that they uncover that is designated to dig, the game will pause and focus on that location, and this turns off. Oh, and also cancel the dig. That way you don't accidentally flood your thing. This just removes the pause and recenter part. Otherwise, when you're trying to dig like underneath the river, you have to do it one block at a time and it takes forever. Intro movie isn't bad, but after you've seen it a few times, you don't want to see it again. So turn that off, or you can watch it and then turn it off. Temperature, you need that on. Weather, you need that on. Cave-ins, you need that on. Invaders, you definitely need that on. Liquid depth, yes. Population cap, 200 is the default. Child cap. This is, I believe, the absolute maximum number of children you can have. And the percentage of children per dwarf. So at this, it's 1,000%. You can have as many as 10 times as many kids as you have dwarfs. Autosave, you want seasonal on. Autosave pause, no. Auto backup, probably. That, when you first play this game, it's going to be quite a lot to chew. And you're probably going to have some unexpected things happen where you die. You may want to reload a save and try something different, or you may just want to start all over. Both are perfectly fine. Initial save, yes, for me, because I'm doing this recording. You may or may not want to do that. This is like your day 0 save. So if you have an embarkation site that you really like and you mess it up royally, you can go all the way back to the beginning and start all over. Pause on load, you definitely want this on. Something may be happening when you load the game. An invasion, people fighting, so you don't want it to be running while the game is not fully loaded. Compressed saves, I'll go ahead and turn that off for me. You may want to leave that on depending on your disk space. I'm turning it off because this is on the same drive as Fraps, and that will mess with the recording probably. Process priority, you can leave this to normal if you want. I have this above normal just because. Tile set, by default the game is rendered completely in ASCII characters, so there's no graphics. Tile sets are very similar to a Minecraft texture pack, except for they're replacing characters instead of actual textures with textures. So you actually have something to look at instead of like a D for dwarf. Color, I'm using the default negative, which is the actual default. Default positive is something this mod maker has slightly edited. I don't know why. He changed the color green for some reason. It doesn't make sense to me. This also, again, it's just more textures. Truetype. There is currently a bug in this game where Truetype might glitch out. You can toggle it like it says with F12 to kind of fix the error, and I'm probably going to keep Truetype on because, as I said, the texture pack replaces characters, so it can replace certain punctuation and stuff if you do not use Truetype. But you can change that in game, so don't really worry about it too much. Vanilla key binding. If you have a laptop, you may want to switch to laptop key binding, but we can edit the keys within the game. But that's just one that starts off already edited for that. These are different types of Truetype font. Races. Leave this alone. These are the normal races, and these are extra flavor. And if you're just starting out, you probably don't want any of these. Creatures. Again, leave this to default. Domestic pets. Pets you can have. Mega beasts, big giant monsters like Ettins and dragons and stuff. Cavern creatures, things that live underground. Animals. Birds. Surface creatures, you get the idea. Materials, simple trees. Yes, like it says, these scenery reduce FPS. So simple trees, simple gems. What this means is normally the game has every type of tree that you can imagine modeled. So yew, cedar, oak, pine, all of those are in here. They each have their own density, they each have their own weights, and they can kind of clutter up the game and make it run a little bit slower. So this just simplifies trees to tree, a simple generic type of tree. So you only have one type, a few types of gems, a few types of soil, and things like that. It makes the game run a lot faster, or well, a bit faster. And this is kind of the opposite. I do want more food types because that can make my dwarfs happier, make the games a little bit easier. This, like it says, they're purely ornamental. They may be interesting to look at. Workshops. This is basically the core of what this, or a large part of what this mod adds. I would leave everything like it is now. Furnaces, again, no reason to change any of this. It's just discontinued. Miscellaneous features. Aquifers. If you're just starting out, or even if you played a while, you probably don't want aquifers unless you're looking for a challenge. An aquifer is an area of water permeable soil or rock, essentially. So if you try to dig through it, it's just going to fill back in. You have to use some kind of trick to get through it. Again, it's a little extra challenge, and mostly it's just annoying. Most people just turn it off. Grazing, a little bit more difficult. Animals have to eat grass. Harder smelting requires that things take more metal to make, and they produce nasty side effects occasionally. Harder farming. This is iffy. If you're starting out, you may want to disable this. It does make the game quite a bit harder to get past the initial first year or so. Turning it off will give you quite a bit of buffer, but there is a valid reason that it's there. In vanilla Dwarf Fortress with normal vanilla farming, you can probably survive on maybe one farming plot without ever having to use fertilizer. This makes this approximately 4 to 5 times harder, so that you do need to actually use fertilizer and use that feature. Harder smelting, smelting accidents, something like that. Leave it on if you want, change it if you don't. It's not really a huge deal. Harder mining. This is something difficult to decide. For one, you kind of want warp stones. I'm not sure if you can trade for them if you turn this off. If you can trade for them and turn this on, that's probably the best way to go. Harder mining makes it more likely that your miners are going to die, which can really hurt you if it happens early in the game. The game I played on the live stream, I had an event for this that nearly wiped out my fortress very early. I had several people die. The second game that I played, I had my expedition leader die very early in the game from getting black lung from the coal dust. So you may or may not want to turn this off. I'm going to leave it on just because I want the warp stone. I want that feature in the game for myself. Harder learning. Like it says, it makes guilds more important. However, I've played with the guilds and they are incredibly difficult to use. So I'm going to turn this off. Go with the not dependent on guilds. I will still try to use them, but I don't want to be dependent on them because honestly they are incredibly tedious to use. New vanilla building reactions. I'm going to turn this off. I don't know, or turn this on. I don't know why it's off. it may or may not help. Some of the reactions, we can actually look at the manual to see. So, settings, miscellaneous, was that it? Phrasing, harder mining. See here, there's warpstone makes dizzy, and in very rare cases heal. Wasn't so rare for me. You will need to mine warpstone for special weapons to build with it. That is why I'm keeping it in. And here is the thing that happened to me. It adds 3 spawnable creatures to the rock. Wraiths, Sagas, and Balrogs. That was the thing in Lord of the Rings, I believe. The thing that came and fought on the bridge. Miners might uncover. Blah blah. Okay, harder learning. The harder learning, by the way, decreases the learning speed by half. Invader skill to weaker traps. Extra vanillin building reaction. Okay, what is this? I guess that may not still be in the game. It looks like it's in the wrong spot to me. I think we skipped something. It doesn't look like this has been updated. Or maybe they're in a different order. Yeah, it looks like this hasn't been updated recently. Oh well. I think we're going to leave it off, actually. I know the things that the Quern adds don't actually work. So, we probably just won't worry about it. Let's see, Soapmaker we want to leave off because that skill has been moved to another workshop. Cast, yeah, see, it skipped this whole thing. Do we want that? Probably. That's what the guilds are. Kind of. Diplomats, we probably want that. No corpses, you definitely want to leave this off. That will remove a lot of things from the game. A lot of certain risk. And there are other ways now, since this was initially released, to remove corpses. You can burn them and stuff. Warbees, probably leave this off. It adds some very overpowered beasts that require special care. And they'll probably kill you if you don't know what you're doing. Transform messages. Actually, we're going to turn that on. English dwarves. This just changes the dwarvish diseases. Yes. Maybe. I guess that works now. Okay, cavern floor, sure. Regional weather, that's fine. Regional effects, smoke effects, they're just pretty. Less solid rock. This is a problem when you first get started out because you need quite a lot of rock quickly. However, after that, it does tend to help FPS, so I'm going to leave it on. New nobles helps with some things. I haven't really explored this a lot. Battle cries, just flavor text, basically. So that's the features. Now then, is our Soundsense done? It is. So we can go back to Soundsense. Let's go to packs. And we're going to go to production. And then we're going to go to cancellations. And we're going to edit this. Now then, we're going to take this out. Actually, we'll just delete all this. We can always re-download it. So needs question, the first one you delete. So it looks like, is that right? Yeah, we need to get rid of that too. Looks like that cancels interrupted. I think you might want to leave that one on. Let me see what these sounds are. Jalopy track 6-2. Okay, these. Huh, okay. Let's play with that one. So that one I know. Let's see about this one. That one I know. Which one did I do? I think I did that one. Okay, I know I'm missing one of them. Actually, they're all the same. Okay, here it is. Drop middle thing. Okay, we'll just delete these. They don't really seem to be adding anything for that one. I thought it might actually tell us what it was. We want to definitely cancel this one. We want to cancel this one. And we're deleting these, by the way, because these things tend to trigger quite a lot. And they will get on your nerves, or they at least get on my nerves. I'm going to delete this. Under complete. Delete that. Delete that. And the reason we want sounds for this game is we may miss some announcements, and the sounds help us catch certain important events, such as a special mood. And I may go back and add a few things, such as some of the sounds that I've used in other videos. But that is all we're going to edit for this. The other things are fine, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's all fine. So that is it for Soundsense.